Hello, and welcome everybody back to the Unily podcast. Got a really special one for you today. It is, in fact, my favourite time of year. It's wedding season, baby! No, it's not, but it's Unite season. So if you are tuning in with us today, you're going to get your first chance to hear about the world's leading employee experience conference. But before I jump into the details and give you some of the early insights into this event, let's welcome our podcast panelists. We've got some returning faces and, as always, some new faces with us today. So I'm going to go over to Sim first because Sim is coming to us from Australia.
Australia, yes.
So tell me, Sim, what time is it right now where you are?
It is 11:51 p.m, so nearly midnight.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, thank you so much for staying up to join the podcast. It's awesome to have you with us. I know it's a late one, but I'm sure it will be a worthwhile exercise staying up so late. How have things been down in Australia recently? Good?
Yeah, good. I would say this is the time where all the good stuff comes out, right? All the raw thoughts. But yeah, it's been good. The weather is nice and warm, so enjoying this last week as well.
Nice, fantastic. Great to have you with us. And another first timer on the podcast, Ian. How are you doing?
Hello, how we doing?
Good.
I'm doing well, yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, as they say.
Yeah, we're gonna, talk about your upcoming film, and you're gonna give us some
my new book, collaboration with Goop. Yeah, it's a busy week.
Good stuff. It's fantastic to have you with us. So good to have everyone on for this special Unily podcast. And why is it special? Well, because we're here talking about Unite 22. Unite 22 is on from September 20th to September 22nd. Get ready for 3 half days that push hybrid event delivery to the max. And when we say the max, we mean the max. There are going to be live keynotes, there's going to be breakouts, there's going to be roundtables, and when we say hybrid, you can have the option this year whether you want to watch online or attend a watch party in either London or New York. So you'll actually be able to come join us at one of our watch party locations and watch all of the live sessions, but also interact in a richer way with some of your peers as well. A few other important things to note: no pre-recorded sessions, so everything is coming to you live. We'll talk about some of the challenges that can pose from time to time in just a moment. So there's going to be all of this great content delivered straight to you live from our studios as well. And on top of all the great events that we're going to be running, there's going to be some really cool fun bits wrapped into the conference experience as well. So you're going to be able to get your sweat on with yoga sculpt, which I believe is being run by Skyting. I'm not sure I'm flexible enough to attend, so I don't know what level they're pitching that workout at, but there is also HIIT workouts as well. And finally, of course, we've got after parties, so you're going to get a chance to soak up those island vibes and join us for an after party with reggae, rum, and just feel good fun basically. So the event is, as they say, game on. So before we jump into the Unite 22 agenda and tell you a little bit more about all the live sessions you can look forward to there, I thought this would be a great time for us to really reflect on what went down at Unite 21. Looking at all the smiling faces on my screen, I'm going to come over to you first, Sim. Can you tell me, what was it like, Unite 21 for you? Do you have any kind of favourite memories from it?
Yeah, definitely. I think my experience for Unite 21 was probably a little different from everyone else's, just due to time zones. So lucky for us, we got to do our live yoga and live HIIT workouts and watch some of the keynote sessions live as well. And then obviously the next day watch them on demand. So very lucky to have a little bit of a mix and a variety there. But I think for me personally, I really loved Fern Cotton's session. I thought she spoke very well and even challenged me in the way that I was thinking about listening and trying to create stories and even listen to people's stories and what I can learn from different people. So yeah, I think everyone that spoke very well, and from what I could tell, looked like a great event.
Yeah, do you know what? Spot on, I would say. Fern was an incredibly captivating speaker. I thought that, subject matter was spot on. But all kudos to the Unily marketing team, because they find just the best kind of speakers, I think, for these events to come in and just kind of share some great insights with everyone. But yeah, Fern was amazing. And of course, you were always accommodating the time zone, Sim. So you're probably starting your day with Unite, ending your day with Unite. Just, lots going on for you on that side.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
Yes, exactly. Couldn't agree more with that sentiment either. But now, over to you, Ian. Any highlights or best bits you can remember from Unite 21?
It's hard to keep track because of all the chaos that was going on at that time in the New York office. It was probably the first time in about a year and a half since we actually had everyone in the same place. So all the juggling of the craziness of people trying to find a place to sit and running in and out for the big watching and the waves during the session. It was a good time. But I gotta say that from the sessions, I actually really enjoyed Ping Chao doing his sort of basically laying out the strategy and the conception around how they launched their digital workplace, all the different things that they were concerned with and how this was going to reach across their workforce. It wasn't perhaps the most, trying to think of what it would be, maybe the most thought leadership focused from the sense of, maybe what we did with Tan France and with Fioren, as you're saying, but just seeing sort of what our clients are doing and how they're trying to make these things their own and really be very intentional about the strategies that they bring to their workplace and how they're trying to engage employees. I thought was pretty great.
Yeah. Ping Chao's session comes up all the time. I think that's an absolute fan favorite, but it's not only was he a great presenter, but I think that's a critical part of Unite as an employee experience conference is the stories from the front line. There's all the kind of theory and the great kind of, speakers that come in to tell you about, diversity, equity and inclusion and talk to you about, active listening in kind of the workplace and things like that. But then you actually get to see how, market leading, internal communicators or employee experience experts are kind of applying technology to kind of solve those challenges. It's really cool. So yeah, that is another good session. And the chaos in the New York office, we never noticed it when we were at the event. Whenever you guys came on screen, it all just looked very chilled, and then you were just firing confetti cannons.
Well, the first time we actually shot the cannons before we were actually live on the feed, so we were just trying to grab it off the table and throw it back into the air. So, a little bit of a logistical issue, but I'm sure we were able to fix that in post, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you know what? This is a good segue. I'm going to throw it over to Kaz, but I mean, as one of the hosts of Unite 21, I guess you probably had quite a unique experience of the conference, it'd be fair to say.
Yes, kind of right next to you in that studio underneath the lights.
Melting every day.
It's funny because you always... what's good is I didn't realise that in the New York office that the cannons had gone. I thought that was the first time that had ever happened, so that was hidden pretty well. I don't know if anyone remember, but when we first started, we had our start time, 2 p.m. Matt and I were ready there, ready with what to say. We're ready for the countdown. Kind of 2 p.m. passes, a few more minutes pass, and we're like, okay, it's getting a bit late. And then Matt and I just okay, what's happening? And then we found out that literally minutes before we were about to go live, the venue's kind of system crashed completely. So everything was restarting. And that's, I guess, the nature of being live, right? All these things happen.
Yeah, roll with the punches, as they say.
Exactly, yeah. But we managed to get it back on track, and then from there onwards, it was onwards and upwards.
I thought you were going to say smooth sailing. I was
I stopped short of that one.
Don't oversell it. No, it's the technical issues. They happen. It is, as you say, part of the challenge of live events on occasion. But what about out of the sessions as well? I'm sure you probably had a few favourites.
I think I'm obviously biased towards my own, but just hearing what other people are saying, I think, and also from speaking to people after the event, I think generally as a conference, when people think about employee experience, their mind goes to quite a specific area. But I think if you look at the overall agenda, and from what we can see from this year as well, we're hitting that same mark. There's such a varied, different forms of talks. We've got things that are more like data or analytics focused. You've got things that are diversity and inclusion focused. Things that are more like culture, the happy workplace talk from Vern. Like, these are all quite broad topics, but they're all relevant to employee experience. And I think to really get the best takeaway, you've got to be able to dabble in all of them and get insights from all of them, because that's how you get like a good, well-rounded takeaway.
Yeah.
So I know that's not a very specific answer.
Yeah, I know. You basically dodged the question. Like, they were all
as
good
I was
sessions.
listening to what everyone else was saying, I was like, gosh, these are all very diverse topics, and that's what I think the value is of the conference overall. And that's probably what I learned is from listening to all the different sessions. Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I'll let that one. That and the after party.
The after party was amazing.
Although I barely remember it now. So.
Yeah. Do you know what? The after parties were really good, actually. It's because, I think it'd be fair to say let's pull together a conference of this kind of magnitude. It takes, a lot of people coming together to kind of, get all of this great content together in one platform, deliver it live every day, around the globe, coordinate all the kind of speakers and, working with the production crew and everything else. So I think at the after party, I think most people were just like, happy to take a load off, sit down in a bar stool and just kind of like, whew, it was a good way to decompress, because, it's a pretty epic event start to finish.
There's like a building buzz as well. Like, we saw some of the people that were at the watch parties, and they kind of go through the sessions and you're learning and you feel it kind of get into its conclusion. So when Matt and I walked in late, you could definitely see that there was like an excitement in the room, and it was really good. I think that, obviously I'll be there again this year, so I won't be able to go to the watch party. But I think those that have the opportunity to definitely should, because it really feels like being part of the event. And you get that, I guess, the opportunity for conversation as well around some of these topics. Yeah, probably 100%. Play a drinking game as well. Anytime Matt says live. Probably not endorsing that, to be fair. Game changer.
Game changer.
Won't make it past day one.
Yeah, exactly. I would not encourage anyone to hook onto any word that I frequently repeat and then drink to it, because it's not going to end well. And there is so much great content, you wouldn't want to pass out and miss any of it either. So speaking of that content, let's have a little walk through what you can expect from the agenda for Unite 22. So looking first at day one, September 20th. So this is the morning where you can get your yoga sculpt on. Crew on the podcast, just quickly, any of you going to be doing the yoga?
Why not?
Yes, Sim, thank you. I was going to get a silent response to that question. I'm glad you're up for it.
Yoga is also an apartment-friendly workout as opposed to HIIT as well.
Yes, that is true. So for those of you who are interested in the yoga, you have commitment now from some of the Unily team. They're going to be doing it alongside you. SkyTing running that on the first day before everything kicks off. Now, depending on whether you're choosing to attend Unite 22 entirely remotely, watching everything online, or you're going to be attending one of our watch parties, which will be live in-person locations where you'll be able to not only watch the sessions, but also interact with various different other attendees. If you're going to the watch parties, you can arrive 1 hour before the first session starts. Those watch parties, again, London or New York. If you think that, you'd enjoy meeting us in person, definitely go to a watch party. If online's the way you want to make it happen, that is a complete option as well. But either which way, your first keynote on day one is going to be from Seth Godin, marketing guru, returning speaker as well, actually, which is amazing because he presented at Unite not last year, but actually the first Unite conference, if I'm not mistaken. He presented at and gave a keynote, and it was absolutely fantastic. He is not only a great speaker, but his content is really inspiring. Now, this year, the really cool thing is that he is writing an entire bespoke, presentation specifically for Unite. So unseen, unheard content. And the angle he's going to be exploring is how would one of the world's leading marketing minds engage employees with internal comms. So you can get his take on how he would engage employees with internal comms. And it's just going to be an incredible session. So one definitely not to miss. We're really excited to have him returning. Now, I'm not going to tell you about all of the sessions that are happening over the course of Unite 22. You're going to have to keep coming on back to the podcast if you want to get drip fed those little kind of early insights into how the agenda is coming together. But I will tell you about another great session happening on day one. That's September 20th. Get that date locked in your mind. But the other great session I'll tell you about is a presentation from Estee Lauder Companies, which I'm sure is an organization that many of you will recognize, and at least will definitely recognize many of their brands. And they're going to be presenting on making the digital employee experience beautiful, which I think is just going to be an amazing session. There is a real knack to engaging employees with great content design and cutting edge technology and experiences. So hearing them talk from their own perspective on how they're looking to achieve great employee engagement through that lens is going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm sure, given the nature of the session, we'll get to see a few sneak peeks of what they're doing for their employees as well. So if you're looking to learn from those companies out there already doing it, this is a great opportunity for you. Now, the final thing to note, just again, when we talk about this being a hybrid event, if you are attending from one of our live watch parties, London or New York, you will also, on day one, have the option to join some live roundtables. So this is the only part which is going to be for the in-person attendees only. So all other sessions will be broadcast live for anyone attending remotely. But if you are in person, there'll be roundtable deep dive discussions where you'll get a chance to network with your peers in focus group discussion forums, which will be hosted by the Unily team as well. So we'll be talking about all the different aspects of the digital employee experience to really kind of draw out the insights from all our attendees and really share and collaborate on solutions. So that would be a really great addition for those people who choose to join us for those live events. Now, moving on to day two, starting with a little bit of a harder workout than the yoga. If I'm doing one, I'm doing the yoga, because day two starts with HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training. Regardless if this is your thing, then we're going to be running it for you before day two kicks off. So this is going to be an awesome opportunity for you to mix your half day conference with some great exercise. Again, for those of you either hybrid or doing kind of in-person every day, you can get to the watch party locations in London and New York 1 hour before the first session of the day. We're going to be kicking off day two with an incredible keynote session from the team at ADP, and they're going to be talking about building a collaborative community. So it's going to really kind of explore the overlap between employee engagement and collaborative community spaces that really help people to be effective and efficient in their jobs. So I think that's going to be a really interesting session. Again, a slightly different angle to what we heard before with Estee Lauder Companies, focusing on that user experience side of things, and this time deep diving a little bit more into the collaboration side of employee engagement. So again, really interesting session. A number of other sessions running across day two. You're going to have to stay tuned to hear more about those. But again, if you've joined us at the watch parties, you're going to have the roundtables. So this is going to be a great opportunity to pick a different topic that you're really interested in, collaborating with your peers about and kind of discussing in more detail. So you'll switch around, choose a different group of people to hop in with, network, and really unpack problems as a group. So again, great additional opportunity for those of you who want to join us from those watch party locations. I think we can probably convince some of the team to host some of those roundtables. Ian, what do you think? You think you'd be up for hosting a roundtable discussion out in New York?
I can talk about anything. Give me a topic and I'll riff. But yeah, I work in sales. I love to do it. But at the end of the day, whatever you need from me, I'm happy to help out. I can make drinks too if people want that. So,
Well, as they say, I'm sure it's 5 p.m. somewhere in the world. So at the watch parties, do get involved, and Ian will make you one of his signature cocktails. So then we go on to day 3. So again, attending a watch party 1 hour before those doors are going to open. You're going to get settled in, have a coffee with the team, relax. And then we're going to be into our opening keynote. And the opening keynote of day 3 is always one that I'm very excited for. Unily, the future, with CEO Will Saville. Going to be very excited to hear what he has to say about the future of employee experience platforms, employee experience technology, but also specifically the direction for Unily. And it's just going to be great to chat to him and maybe share a few insights into what we've got coming up in the product. So don't miss that one. It'll be a great session. Kaz joined me for it last year, and I think you'd agree, Kaz, it was really cool to kind of finally talk about engagement automation.
Definitely, it was a long time coming, and also our product is really cool and interesting, so seeing where it's got to go, and what's next for the employee experience is definitely worth tuning in for.
Yeah,
and that session last year was actually such a good session, and I think all of our customers as well really look forward to that, hearing from Will and hearing what's next, because they're living and breathing Unily.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And there's always extra pressure during those sessions, because when we say nothing is pre-recorded, that also goes for the live demonstrations of the product that we do. So when new features are being presented to you like that, there are a few shaky hands on the mouse and keyboard as we start to do the live demos. Yes, another really exciting session. So don't miss out on that one. And then again, some more sessions throughout that day, but another one that I'll just point out for those podcast listeners today will be a session with world famous futurist Annalisa Kajar. So she's going to be talking to us about the future of the workplace. So it's we're operating now in a rapidly changing working world. The rise of hybrid, changes to the way organizations are presenting themselves and structuring their organizations, and the big focus areas they have internally. And all of that means, rapidly shifting environments for us as employees. So hearing her take on the future of the workplace is going to be very, very interesting. So very much looking forward to that as well.
It's got to be the coolest job title in the world, isn't it?
Yes, right? Yes, it is. Well, maybe second to product evangelist. No, very cool, very cool. And last but by no means least, at the end of the third half day, jam-packed with content, come and unwind with us at an island party. You're going to get to soak up those island vibes at an after party again in London or New York. There's going to be reggae, there's going to be rum, and there's going to be feel good fun. I had to build up to that rhyme, but anyway, it will be an amazing after party. It always is, and we'd love to see as many of you there as possible. So even if you haven't been able to kind of attend all the watch parties in person, don't worry. You're going to find that registering for this event is really simple and really easy. Podcasters on the call with me today, of the things I've talked about so far, what do you think your favourite bits are going to be? I'll open it up. Who wants to go first?
I would say Estee Lauder companies, talking about design and how to really mold the experience toward what users want, but still making it striking and appealing and reflective of your brand. I feel like that's sort of the next level of really building on that experience. And even when we think about how we released engagement automation last year, it's a marketing tool toward, internal audiences. I feel like we're continually evolving and stepping toward this idea that you gotta market the same way externally as you do internally. You need to really drive that engagement and that design and having that, a very visually appealing experience for everyone to engage with. I mean, it's I don't know. I love things that are beautiful. I want to see beautiful things. Let's see what they can bring together.
Yeah, 100%. They've got such strong brand identities within their organization that it would just be amazing to see how they kind of breathe life into that for their employees, within the organization, So I think that'll be a great session as well, no doubt. Kaz, coming to you next. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to our session with the futurists, because being in product, I need something inspiring to, what is it going to look like in 10, 20 years to get me on the next exciting innovation, the next feature. So I'm inspired by things like that. So that's a session I'm really looking forward to. And of course the socials. But probably let's stick with the session.
Yeah, stick with the session. The social. Well, I mean, now that we know Ian is making the cocktails, I am super hyped for the socials.
At any point, I specialize in Prohibition era cocktails, so you gotta stick to the rums, the Genevers, so on and so forth. But
well,
any time of day, I'm in.
Nice. I mean, now I kind of, wish that I was just going to be hanging out at the watch parties, knowing that that's going on. But okay, fair enough. Maybe I can, twist your arm into bringing one to the studio for one.
Give it to you in a travel mug, coffee cup.
Yeah. Pretend I'm fueling up for the day. But okay, cool. That's going to be awesome. Sim, what about you?
I think what I'm really looking forward to are the roundtables. I know every time we've had a similar roundtable event, it's always been really great hearing people's discussions, even people's questions and how they answer it, maybe giving real life examples. I mean, I love our customers and hearing what they have to share and what they've done and what they're doing. And look, I am from a big island, so it definitely, the island vibes is speaking to me. So that after party is definitely for me.
Yeah, the big island vibes, that's it. It's going to be great. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing, what your favourite bits will be. And obviously, for those of you listening to the podcast today, just remember that we're going to be announcing more great speakers as we get closer to the event. So stay tuned for more updates. We'll kind of keep posting about all the speakers over time and sharing their sessions with you all so you know what to expect over this 3.5-day conference. So if you're watching this podcast right now and you're thinking, oh my god, this sounds like the perfect event for me, I've got to get registered, all you got to do is hit register now at unily.com/unite. You can select your ticket type, so online, in person at our watch parties, or hybrid, best of both. Pick which days you'll attend watch parties and which days you'll be online. So if you're in person or hybrid, select your city as well, so London or New York, and it's just select the activities that you want to attend. All attendees, regardless of ticket type, are going to be given a link to watch all the sessions online anyway. So make sure you get yourself registered. We're very, very excited to be bringing you Unite 22. And we very much look forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you to the podcast crew, and we'll see you on the next. Yeah, thank you guys.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, and we will see you on the next podcast. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, it's Seth Godin. Join me at Unite 22. Unily's Employee Experience Conference this September for my keynote session. This is Internal Comms, how to market to employees. Hope to see you there. Thanks.